Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Standing Tall podcast. We're starting this episode with a Q&A. I'm going to be answering your questions, so thank you so much for sending them in. But without further ado, let's get to the questions. All right, first question is, any tips on details for submitting to agencies, what to wear, how to pose, etc.? So one of the most important tips about taking your details is honestly lighting. You have to have great lighting. If not, they're not going to look good. Honestly, lighting is such a big part of taking details. So just make sure you're at least in front of a window lighting. That's the best one of the natural lights that you can get. And just sit in front of a plain wall and wear something that's like form-fitting, tank top and skinny jeans. Or honestly, now I see more of I don't know exactly how you call these jeans, but they're more like the ones that are more like in style. They're like low waist, like a little baggy, not too baggy. But I even see models using those jeans. I've used those jeans for my details and none of my agents has said anything. So you could also try those jeans, but I will definitely stick to a top that is form-fitting for sure. But I want to share a tip that I don't think that I've shared in the past ever. It is something that I was actually considering the other day if it would make a difference. And I was talking to one of my friends and she said that as soon as she did that, things changed for her in terms of response from agencies, which is basically paying to get your details done. Again, this is not something you have to do in order to get signed. No agency will ever tell you to pay for your details. They will always say like, oh, just your cell phone, like nothing to worry about. But sometimes you have to do extra things to try to be seen. So if you are able to, pay for your details, but obviously you cannot just get anybody out there to take your details. Like it has to be a professional who actually knows how to take details, who have taken the details before. Honestly, like you will have to look for a photographer that has experience taking details specifically for modeling agencies, because it's just not the same. Not everybody knows exactly how agencies want them and stuff. So if you are able to get someone like that, I'll take advantage of it. Details are not really expensive in comparison to a headshot or a portfolio shoot, because the photographer's not editing them or anything like that. You're wearing the same clothes for everything, or two outfits at the most, and that's it. I'm not sure how much they cost, but I would believe it's around $100. So compared to a portfolio shoot, that is very affordable. So that's something that if you're not getting any luck, if you don't have the best lighting at your disposal at home, if you have been submitting and there's no response, maybe start considering, I can actually pay for this right now. Maybe it'll make a difference, and just, take a shot. A really important step that helped me with my details and figure out what to wear is just to check other models' details. A lot of modeling agencies, when you look up a specific model and you go through their portfolio and stuff, they actually have their details attached in their profile. So you can actually check them. I will always take screenshots of what they were wearing and how they were posting. And when it came to taking my own details, I will just go through those screenshots and figure out what to do. So that's a big thing that I did that helped me a lot, and hopefully it will help you as well. All right, next question. What age did you start modeling? So I was actually just thinking about this year, because I feel like it has been so long that I'm starting to forget when did I start, what year. Like there is such a blur to me right now, but I started doing it for fun, I believe at 19. If you have been listening to my story and you remember, I'm almost sure I was 19 that I started doing it for fun, but I didn't take it seriously until like 2.5 years later that I signed to my first agency. All right, let's keep going. What do you do when you're signed but not getting jobs? So that is actually relatively common. Like I've been in that situation before, and honestly, it feels really defeating because all you wanted to do was to get signed, and once you're signed, there's nothing. So one of the things I actually want people to understand when it comes to getting signed to a modeling agency, and you really wanted to be with this particular agency and they ended up saying no, I know it's really, really extremely hard, believe me, extremely hard to look at the bright side sometimes and think like, oh, maybe, this wasn't the right agency for me after all. Like actually a good thing that they rejected me. Again, very hard to understand that in that moment. But what I'm getting to is that it comes to a moment that you finally get that agency that you've been dying to be with, in that market that you've been dying to be with, and you're just sitting on that roster. There's nothing happening. So there's a few things that you could do. One of the things is just reach out to your agent. At the end of the day, your agents are there to help you make money because they don't get paid unless you get paid. So it's a teamwork. Try to talk to them and ask them, just send them an email, try to set up an appointment and say hey, I've been with this agency set amount of times, let's say 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, a year, and nothing has happened. Can we please talk about it and see what I can do to improve my chances of getting castings and getting bookings? And sometimes if you're with a really good agency, they'll reply and they'll tell you hey, I think there's certain things that are missing on your portfolio, or you need a little bit more of development on this or something. They're going to tell you if they see there's actually something going on, or they could tell you, depending on what market you are, they could tell you hey, honestly, I think your portfolio is good. There's some reason clients are not reaching out to you, but it might be the season, or it might be something. But at least you get an answer of something that you could do or not, or there's nothing you could do. The other thing that you might want to consider, depending on how long you've been to the agency, how was their response or anything, is start to look for a different agency. I know it's really hard to do, believe me. I've been in that situation before, that I was with this agency I really wanted to be with. I was so excited and I wasn't really working. I wasn't getting any traction. I was just basically sitting on that roster. And I just wanted to move to a different agency because maybe different eyes on me would give me better opportunities. So I know it's hard. I know once you work so hard to be with that agency and now trying to look for a different one and leave that agency feels how can I do this to myself? I worked so hard for this, and it feels what if nobody else will take you? I know all these thoughts, I've been through them. But believe me, if you're not working with an agency and it's just not going anywhere, you might be better off just finding a different representation. You might be better off doing it for yourself for a while and then going back to getting signed to an agency. Honestly, life is about tough decisions. Sometimes it's the best thing you could ever do, and you're not going to see it through until you leave that agency and start looking for a new one. So there's a few things you could do. Like I said, it doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to be I'm going to leave this agency right now. It could be just talk it through, see what can be done. If they tell you to do certain things, do them. Then, wait and see if there's something that happens. And if there's still nothing that happens, then start considering, hey, this might be the time for me to leave this representation and go look for another one. 5'1", 30 years old and want to model. What's your best advice? So because of your height, I would say definitely try to get into commercial modeling, just because commercial modeling is just the easiest in terms of height that you can get into. It's obviously modeling is hard anyways, but commercial modeling is a lot more friendly when it comes to being short, and your age doesn't really matter. So don't really worry about that. Just, I have a ton of videos on my YouTube channel where I show how to take your details, how to get signed to an agency, how to build your portfolio. All of that is on there. I also do one-on-one modeling coaching sessions. They're all on my website if you want to talk to me one-on-one and get more personalized help. But everything is on my YouTube channel, I promise you. But basically, yeah, just try to get into commercial modeling. I think that's the easiest in the hardest parts of modeling. And again, age doesn't really matter. As long as you have the talent and put in the work, you can get where you want to get. Can you start modeling at 27? Same thing here. Age doesn't really matter, especially when it comes to commercial modeling. Obviously, when it comes to fashion and certain agencies, you do see a little bit of pushback when it comes to age. But at the end of the day, and I've seen it from time to time, when someone wants you, they won't care about your height, your age, or location, nothing. It's crazy to see how many people are rejected based on one thing, and then at the same time see that same agency still sign a person who has that one thing that they said they wouldn't sign them for the other person, if that makes any sense. So at the end of the day, if you have the talent and put in the work, things will happen to you. And when someone wants you, they will want you regardless of your height, your weight, your size, age, anything. Do you think modeling is worth going after if you're 27 or older? Well, basically the exact same thing, but I wanna go a little bit deeper into this. And it's just, here's the thing. time will always pass. Like, there's no stopping time. And it's really, I think it's really hard to live life when you're constantly doing something that you're not passionate about, and in the back of your head it's and you keep thinking, I want to model, I want to model, I want to model, but no, I'm this age, I'm this height, I'm this weight, and you keep going through life. Months pass by, days pass by, years pass by, and you still want you still want to model. And like I said, age, height, all these things, they don't really matter. When someone wants you, they'll want you. I think it's worth answering that question for yourself. I think it's worth you trying and doing things and getting to a point that you can see for yourself, like with your own eyes, this was worth it, this was not worth it, because there's no way you can even answer this question if you don't try it for yourself. Like, there's nobody ever in the entire world that will ever be able to answer this question for you, because you can only see it for yourself. I hope this makes any sense. Like, nobody will be able to live your life except you. That's what I mean. And I don't know how else to put it. And I really hope this makes sense, that you can only see it for yourself. Did you sell your own portfolio shoot? I did not sell my own portfolio shoot. So since 2022, I believe, I made the decision that I wanted to start paying for my own portfolio shoot. I had already paid for my portfolio shoot in the past, but in that year, I really realized that it just makes everything so much easier. And if you have the funds, it's totally worth it, because you don't have to worry about what are you going to wear, to see if you can get a hair makeup stylist to collaborate with you for free, to see if you can get a photographer to collaborate with you for free, to make sure that everybody is on the same page with bringing the style that you need for your portfolio. Because again, a pretty picture doesn't mean that you can go in your portfolio. There's certain requirements, a certain style, there's certain lighting. There's so many things that go on into what will qualify a portfolio image and which one won't. So with all these things and take into consideration, I personally just didn't want to deal with what to wear. So I rather pay a stylist to do my portfolio shoot. And that's why I think my outfits look so great, so amazing, because a professional did it and not me. How did you select your boob size? I love this question. I really wanted people to ask me about my surgery, and I think this is the only question that came up. But anyways, it was actually relatively hard, because for modeling, I wanted my size to still fit into modeling, if that makes any sense, because you cannot go too big. And it was relatively kind of hard because I wasn't exactly sure how to go about it. I basically wanted a B cup, but I didn't know how a B cup would actually look on me. And then I kept researching online, like, how to select your boob size and stuff like that. And basically so many videos were saying, like, doctors don't know boob size, like cup size, they only know CCs. So don't go and tell them that you want this cup size, because they won't be able to know what it is, all that stuff. And I was just like, I don't know how to even like figure out. Then I was just looking for women online that basically had my same frame size, and I just started taking screenshots. I would show my friends. Some of my friends were like, no, that's too small, that's too big, and I like that. And I talked to a doctor and I showed him the final inspo that I had come up with, and which was Olivia Rodrigo. And he was like, no problem, we will do exactly that. It's like, this is around like the size that she probably has. And he measured me, and then it came to the conclusion that that was the size I wanted. In terms of circumference that I wanted, is exactly where I wanted it to be. So it ended up being like perfect. How to know what good posing is? Who are the models we should analyze? This is such a great question, because I can see how people could be confused about what makes good posing and things like that. And I will highly, highly recommend to follow supermodel Coco Rocha. She is on it on the posing tips and how to do it. She also has a modeling camp. If you're interested in that, take a look into that. She also shows how to pose in the modeling camp, but also she shows a ton of tips on her Instagram and on her TikTok. And it's all about the eyes, the emotion, the face expression, the way you put your shoulders higher or lower, the way that you place your arms, your fingers, ballet fingers, I got that from her. So that's definitely somebody that you want to learn from. Workout routine. What type of exercise do you focus on? Guys, I had been insanely bad with working out since December of 2022. That was when my downfall started, because for years I have been super into working out. I've been lifting weights the majority of the time I've been working out, aside from sports when I was younger, but I've been on it. And it got to a point that I was just doing too much, and I toned it down to like 3 to 4 times a week, but I was always on it. Always. And then I don't know, I was just gotten lazy, I guess, not super motivated to go. And now I'm like 1 to 3 times a week. It's so bad. It's been really bad, especially with the surgery. You know, I had a lot of downtime. But anyways, I try my best. But I really focus on weightlifting. That's like the main thing I do. I've also have enjoyed taking Pilates classes, and it's something that I would like to take more of. And then my hip hop dance class, I was like, I'm missing something. My hip hop dance classes, that is my cardio for the week. I love to take those classes. They're intense. But basically that's what I do. I think the things that I mainly focus on is body strength, because of the Pilates and the weightlifting, and then cardio because of the hip hop dance classes. And then I do a little bit of walking on the treadmill when I'm really not feeling like it at all, but I still like push myself to go. I'll just walk on the treadmill for 30 minutes, 35 minutes and call it a day. How long does your brow elimination last? Brow elimination has changed the game for my brows, honestly, because yes, I've let them thicker now, but the reason why I got brow lamination was because I had, you can tell right now because, you know, they're laminated, but I had a little bit of like spareness at the top around here. So I hate it whenever I will go on shoots and the makeup artist, I don't know if that's like just the way that it's supposed to be, or I don't know. Honestly, I'm going to give them the benefit of doubt. Maybe I'm completely wrong in the way of doing my eyebrows, but they will leave that sparse portion of my brows open, that they will not go through it. Like you will literally see like my brow go like this and then go like this. They would just leave it there. I don't know why. And I hated it because I was like, okay, there's no hair right there. What can I do? And I started looking into brow lamination. But anyways, I'm not answering your question. Apologies. Brow lamination lasts for about 6 to 8 weeks. I would say for me, it lasts about 8 weeks. And around the 9th week, that's when I'm like, okay, I definitely need to go back because they're not going as nice as they go, but they still like really go up. Like eyebrow gel was really hard for me because I really needed to go like super hard and really like tape my hairs to my forehead so they will like stay up. With brow lamination, even on the 9th week, super easy for them to stay up. So I guess could even last longer than 8 weeks, but they wouldn't look as nice and as like smooth as the first weeks. How do you manage to be satisfied with yourself? Well, I don't think I am satisfied with myself. I think there's a lot more that I can do in terms of work and my personal life. I've seen so much growth in the last few years, so I'm really excited to keep growing in every sense. But I must say I am very happy, so I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what this question meant, but I'm just going to say I am not satisfied. I try not to stay comfortable. And I want to keep growing. I want to keep going, but I am definitely very happy with my life and all the things that I've achieved. How do you suggest I lose weight? So I'm not a nutritionist or anything like that, a doctor. I'm just going to say the simplest thing, which is science-based, okay? It is, I don't even know how to say it anymore. I used to be so good at this. It is the reduction of calories. I don't even know how to say it anymore. But basically, you eat a little less than you usually, and over time, you lose weight. But I'm going to say that by restricting yourself and going super hard on calories and not eating certain things for me has never worked. It has never ended well. And I've learned throughout the years that you have to find some sort of balance. I can't even remember right now. I don't know why my head is so blanked in this specific subject, because I used to be on it so good. But basically there has to be like a balance. Like you don't have to go crazy. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You have to be very patient, eat a little less than you're used to, work out, and over time you're gonna start seeing results. But don't go too hard on yourself. Don't go crazy. Don't start cutting everything out of your life, because at the end it's gonna come back and bite you. You're gonna binge and you're gonna gain all the way back and more sometimes if you go too hard, too crazy. So everything, there it is, everything in moderation. Everything in moderation. What to do to get signed, even if model agencies only want girls from 174. 174, I'm not 100% sure how tall that is, but I would assume it's 5'7", around that probably. Actually, let's look it up. 174 centimeters in feet. Okay, it's about 5'7". Oh, look at me. Anyways, that's just such a big question. And the only thing that has worked for me this entire time that I've been modeling is to keep trying. I know it's hard. I know it can be defeating, especially when all you get is you're too short, over and over and over again. But the only way to get anywhere is just to keep trying. And in the process of keep trying, obviously improve yourself, improve your portfolio, improve your details, improve your posing, improve the way that you show yourself and your personality and the things you like to do. Because when you're walking into these meetings, you want to be confident. You want to portray to them that you know your stuff, that you have some sort of experience, that you're somebody that they want to work with because you're so nice and lovable and funny, intelligent, smart, whatever it is that's about you that, shines bright. Like you want to work on all these things. So it's literally just go at it and keep trying, keep pushing and keep trying and keep pushing, because that's all. A lot of the stories on this podcast is about that at the beginning of their journeys, nobody wanted them. Nobody gave them the time of day, and they kept trying and trying and trying. And one day, this agency said yes to them, and then things started happening to them. And that's my story as well. So that's the only thing I can tell you. If, everything around you is telling you you're too short, you can't do it, then you have to be like, I know I can do it. Let me keep trying, because I'm going to find the door that opens. How to write to brands as a freelance model. Actually, it's a funny story. I don't know if anybody knows who Gary Vaynerchuk is, but this is a guy that helps people, push them into trying, into going after their dreams and figuring things out. But anyways, one of the things I believe he said a long time ago, he probably still says the same thing, is that when you're starting out, you have nothing to show to people that you're capable of things. So the best thing that you can do is offer your services for free. So I remember I emailed and I DM'd a ton of brands. People say that you should email 100 a day or something like that. I didn't do that many, but I did do a ton. Nobody answered. I was like, hey, I love your brand. I'm ethically ambiguous, which is one of, my things as a model. And, I would love to model for your brand for free. I think that, you were really I can't remember exactly how I worded it, but basically nobody answered. And it's cringe, because I think that a lot of brands reach out to me now, not for modeling, but for social media, and to send me PR packages. And I think I've seen my message at the top from 2017, but 2018. And then they're like, hey, we're going to send you something, but I don't know if they read them, honestly. Yeah, anyways, one of the things that, you can keep trying that. Honestly, I never tried too hard to see what would happen. I think really, really small niche brands might reply to your DMs, honestly, because they could take advantage of, not in a bad way, but they could take advantage of a model that doesn't have that much experience, and they could pay them less or nothing. And that could be a good win-win situation if you're in that level. But The other thing that you could do, and I've talked about this in the past many times, is just to sign up for casting websites. I think I have a video on that on my YouTube channel. If it's not on my YouTube channel, it's on my website blog. If you don't know, my website blog is andreaventuramodel.com/blog, I believe. Or if not, just go to andreaventuramodel.com. Just go to my blog, and I have a list of casting websites. And these casting websites, you have to pay a subscription fee, but you get access to these castings, to these brands. You get access to be able to submit yourself and possibly book this paid work. And there's a ton of big brands that post their jobs on this casting website. So that's another thing that you could try to do if you are a freelance model. Advice for petite models starting out in the industry. So besides the things I've said about, trying to go into the commercial world and just keep going at it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I will let you know. Okay, yeah. One of the other thing, and I also have it on my website blog as well, when you're looking for modeling agencies, you might also want to look for talent agencies. These also represent models and do modeling work, but a ton of their work is commercial work. So when you're looking up, modeling agency in XYZ state, city, country, try to look for talent agency in and see what pops up. Not every talent agency represents models, but a lot of them do. That might help you get your foot in the door in the industry. How to get noticed as a model. So if you have not listened to Alicia Gutierrez's episode, it's on the podcast, but I think she's literally the best advice on how to go about getting noticed and working hard and getting to a really good place in the industry. This girl has done it all. Anything that I've thought of, like, oh, maybe I should do this, she has done it. Like, she had reached out to as many people as possible in the industry, whether it's a stylist, a makeup artist, a photographer, anyone, and she'll try to collaborate with them. She'll try to connect with them. She has DM brands, and I think that's how she got a few of her modeling jobs with big brands. Actually, going back to what I said about me DMing brands and I gotten nothing back, she actually did that, and she actually got something back. So it's possible. It's like I said, this is not, when I said that, I was not trying to discourage you of not doing that. I'm just saying it didn't work for me, but I did not really go hard. Alicia went hard at it, and she came out winning. When it comes to being a petite model and trying to get your foot in the door, try to get noticed, try to get signed, try to get work, you really have to work really hard to not go just through the regular doors that most models go through, but just to find holes in the wall, try to the back door, the side door, try going through the basement. You have to, anything that you can think of, just try it, because that it may lead you into getting to where you want to get. That's the thing about this. It's just it's a big game of trying to see what works, what doesn't work, and keep going and keep going and keep going. So that's the only thing that can get you noticed, is to, if this doesn't work, if I emailed an agency and they didn't get back to me, okay, let's DM them on Instagram and see if they get back to me. Okay, they didn't get back to me. Maybe I'm going to try to attend their open call. Okay, nothing happened. Okay, maybe I should hire a professional photographer to take my details. Okay, nothing happened. Okay, what if I work on my portfolio? Okay, nothing happened. It just keep going, keep trying to find, this doesn't work, then maybe this will work, maybe this. And the more you try, if you have the talent and you put in the work, things will start happening along the way. When I say these things, I don't mean that nothing will ever work. I'm just saying that this piece of the puzzle might not work for you right now, but then it will lead you to trying this other thing. Either it is emailing people or DMing them or attending the open call or working on your portfolio or trying to connect with people in the industry, anything you can think of, because you don't know where the door is and you want to get to the door. All right, guys, I think I've been talking through forever, so I'm going to leave it to this. Thank you so much again for tuning in to the podcast. And until next time, I'll talk to you and I'll see you guys next time.